This is the team that we're going to be playing this campaign with. The first one is R5. He's the little crab right in front. He will actually be the leader of this warband. And he takes charge, and he's a pretty interesting character. He will be a fast, and the person to his left is Bardolo. He is the wizard robot, and he's going to be a support. Behind them is Shanks, which is a melee robot, if you can't tell, with his long arms. We also have Gutsy behind him with a cannon on his back, and he will be ranged. And finally, we have Streak, which is the blue guy with the wings right there. And that is our team for this mission. So this particular mission is a solo mission where you have to try to survive 4 turns on this board and not have any of your people killed. It is a very, very difficult mission, so let's see what we can do. If anybody does get killed, they're actually not going to be killed, they're going to be knocked out, so they're going to be KO'd, and then a friendly or an enemy can move into base contact with them during the movement phase, and in the action phase, they can pick them up. So even if your model is still killed, you may be able to save your buddy. So let's see how this goes. The first model activated was Bardolo, which is the wizard there. He put up a energy barrier which blocks movement to keep this 10-inch movement Minotaur away from him. The next thing he did was decide to get their ranged guy a really nice vantage point, so he successfully cast Teleport and teleported him all the way up here. We rolled a 1 for the wound chart roll, so he's perfectly fine. And now he has a great vantage point above everybody else in order to shoot. It'll be hard for the Minotaurs to get to him. The Minotaurs activated their banner person back here, who chose willpower rolls to be the thing that he rerolled within 12 inches. It only affects him. He did a sacred Minotaur spell on poor old Bardolo here. And you'll see the baby dice on the base. He is down to 2 wounds. He rolled an 8 for it, and that is 1 damage with no saves at all. So it's essentially Smite, or Magic Missile. The next person that was activated was Gutsy right here. And he shot down to the fast person, as you can see. He only hit once, and he only wounded once. And unfortunately, he rolled a 1 on the wound chart roll, so he only did a damage to this guy. The bulls all start with 4 hit points, so he is only down to 3 now. The bull chose to run around the barrier, and he moved and ran, so that took up his entire activation. And he is that close now, closing in on our heroes. Shanks activated. He ran around Mr. Bardolo there. He assaulted the Minotaur. He landed only 1 hit out of his 3 attacks, and he was able to wound him and give him an arm laceration, which gives him -2 fighting skill. He dealt an unsaved damage, and the Minotaur struck back and missed. The Minotaur over here ran from over there down to here, and he completely whiffed his roll of his run, and he only ran 1 inch beyond his 8-inch movement. Blue Streak activates. He goes from right here. He flies over the Minotaur onto this rock. That was high enough to give him elevation. He charged. He was able to get +2 fighting skill for rear arc, and he rerolled charges because he was coming from higher elevation. He was able to kill the Minotaur, which is amazing, but unfortunately he was dealt a damage and is now confused. Now that the Minotaurs are out of any actions, the robots will go twice. R5 runs around here and is going to try to protect his buddy Bardolo right here. And unfortunately he rolls a 1 for his charge, so he does nothing. He's just kind of in the way. And that is the end of turn 1. This is the beginning of turn number 2. The Minotaurs lost the most models so far this game, so they activated first. The Minotaur with the banner chose to reroll hits for this turn within 12 inches of him with his banner. And unfortunately, he also rolled a 1 to charge the back of Mr. Bardolo. So I don't know what's going over here. There must be something spilled from this crate. Maybe there's olive oil or something over here on this part of the road, because R5 just rolled a 1 for charging, and then so did the banner bull. Bardolo activates next. He moves from right here over to here. He recasts the energy barrier, which is preventing this cavalry person from moving. And then he casts teleport. He actually gets it with a critical success, so he can do it twice. He casts this and sends Shanks behind the Minotaur to get a nice rear arc charge. And then he moves himself over a couple more inches. He doesn't want to be too far away from Streak, though, because their teamwork faction ability enables them to have a +1 save within 4 inches of an ally. So he's trying to hedge his bets here. Next up to activate is the cavalry guy, which is this bull right here. Now he's in a funny predicament right now because cavalry, one of their things is that they cannot climb. So if this guy were to try to climb up in these bushes like a normal model may be able to do, he's just too heavy and he would sink down in it. So at this juncture, he basically just has to sit here, because if he wants to go around the trees, by the time he gets here, they're just going to put another barrier up. So he really is in not bad position right here if he can just get this barrier down. So for the time being, he just glances left and right and really doesn't know what to do at this juncture. So this means it's even more important for the Bannerman to kill Bardolo. Shanks activates next, and an incredible thing happened. Against all the odds, Shanks assaults from the behind the rear arc of the Minotaur and does a crazy 3 unsaved damage on this 4-wound Minotaur. And he also blinds the Minotaur for 1 turn, and he's bleeding. So the next time he activates, he's going to bleed out with his 1 remaining hit point. And in the meantime, crazy enough, the Minotaur also, with his 1 attack, does a critical hit on poor Shanks, who fails it both times, and he is down to 1 wound as well. The next person to activate is Streak, and you might go, oh my god, where is Streak now? Well, unfortunately, he failed his confusion check, his willpower check, so we had to roll a random distance, d10 inches, in a random direction, and he kind of wandered on the other side of this tree, and he's still confused. So hopefully he doesn't wander off the board edge or something like that. For their very first mission, I cannot believe how well this is going for them. Gutsy just shot down at that Minotaur down there. He hit him twice, he did 2 unsaved wounds to him, and he gave him a face laceration, which is -1 willpower, and he also broke his ribs, which is -2 dexterity. That is crazy good. Congratulations, Mr. Gutsy. R5 really has nothing to do. He's going to move from here around Shanks to right there, and he's just going to watch this Minotaur die, because the next time he activates, he's bleeding out. This is turn 3, and because the Minotaurs have lost more people than the robots, they get to activate first. Unfortunately, they are in a serious pickle at this juncture, because the priest here is going to bleed out as soon as I activate him, and the melee person is going to have nothing to do if I activate him first. So, the problem is, the robots have far more activations than the Minotaurs do, and they can just choose to activate Bardolo last. So I think that's actually what they're going to do. So the cavalry guy is going to go at second, and unfortunately, they watch this Minotaur bleed to death as I activate him. I don't think I've ever had a mission go this well for a team, honestly. Gutsy chose to aim and shoot down at that last Minotaur. He scored only 1 hit out of his 2 shots, but it was a critical hit, so that counted as 2 hits. The Minotaur, even though he was getting cover from this barrier, failed both of them, and the Minotaur died. That leaves the rest of our team safe, and they actually won this mission a whole turn ahead of time. So, let's go to the leveling up section now, because this is a victory for R5 and his gang. After an amazing first mission for this warband, they all survived, and none of them actually had any stat modifiers that were negative. The confusion immediately goes away after the mission, so Streak no longer has that, and any hit points that were lost are healed. But you keep all of your stat modifiers, such as, like, you know, face wound, -1 willpower, or whatever. So this is pretty cool, because they each got, let's see here, R5, the leader, got 3 victory points. Blue Streak got 3 victory points. Wizard Bardolo is 2 points, 2 experience. Shanks got 2 experience, and Gutsy got 3 experience. Now, for each 2 experience you get to level up. So the very first level in the home campaign is you get to choose a passive ability. Now, this is an opportunity for them to do things inside or outside of the mission that were helpful, and they get better and better as time goes on. So, this also helps them gain a little more personality. So, what I've chosen for them is that R5, the crab in front, he's the leader. He's going to be good at haggling, so we have a chance every time we buy something to get it for 1 gold less than we normally could, which is pretty cool. We also have Streak, who is going to be our recruitment guy, the flyer, and he is going to be trying to get new members for our warband in between missions. Bardolo is going to be learning First Aid, where he can remove 1 stat modifier from one of his buddies between missions, and that's pretty cool. Shanks is going to be good at scavenging. This guy right here, he's going to be good at scavenging, so he's going to possibly be able to find an extra item for us between missions. And finally, Gutsy is going to be the builder of the group. You can see he's modified that massive cannon on his back, so he's going to be trying to build onto wherever they're staying and make more quarters for more members. Because currently you start with only 5 slots for members, and obviously you can't gain any more until you build more onto your building. So that's what he's going to be attempting to do. And the last thing I can do in between missions is explore. So none of my people have to rest because none of them have negative stat modifiers. So we can choose to explore our surroundings. I'm going to nominate Shanks as the leader, the lanky guy right here. And we're going to roll on the exploration chart. We got a 5, and a 5 is an item. Roll on the item chart. So we're going to roll on the item chart. And we got a 10. Oh, that's 2d10, sorry. We got a 17 total. So the 17 is a Ewan armor. It's +2 save. That is awesome. So one of these guys, each one of these models can carry 1 item. One of them is going to be getting +2 save because they're going to be equipping that item. I also forgot to mention that I have rolled off screen for these different abilities. Streak did not recruit anybody. Gutsy did not. He was not able to add on to the base. There was no negative stat modifiers for Bordolo to remove, and we did not trade, so there was no haggling for R5, but Shanks was able to scavenge and he found 1 gold for our group. So now their bank has 1 gold in it, and now they own a Ewan armor, which is awesome. I truly hope you enjoyed this battle mission. I understand that, it's not super high quality or anything like that, but I really did enjoy doing it, and I think I'm going to continue going on with these people. If you did enjoy the mission, please subscribe to the channel and blah 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 blah. And hopefully this has gotten you interested in the game, because the game is a ton of fun, and with this new edition that will be out in print soon in the next 2 months or so, by probably April of 2020, this is going to be a brand new edition and a ton of new stuff. The campaign system has been completely overhauled and whatnot. So if this gets a good response, I think I'm going to be investing in more, better equipment and better software and all that for these missions. Let's see how that goes. So hopefully everybody liked it. See you later.